We built Debrief, an AI that reads Twitter so you don't have to. The internet is filled with valuable information, but constant exposure to news and social media can be overwhelming and psychologically taxing. So we created Debrief, an AI assistant that takes in an individual's preferences and filters information from sources like Twitter, Hacker News, RSS feeds, and Reddit. In essence, it allows you to create your own interface to the internet and craft an algorithm based on your own preferences rather than primal instincts.
Now we're going to show you what the front-end user experience for Debrief looks like. Now, to begin with, our user will click through a series of sample media to tell us what they like and what they don't like. This helps our algorithm figure out what their preferences are and helps filter their feed based on that. So if you look here, I'm liking posts that have, say, Generative AI. I'm a huge fan of Runway. I also like to see stuff on Citizen because I like to keep up to date with my local neighborhood. Now, our algorithm will use these embeddings to figure out what kind of other content that happened today would be suitable for their feed. So as you can see, now we have the option to submit preferences.
And so when we hit submit preferences, our algorithm actually generates a quick debrief. So this top section is actually our summary, which summarizes the whole day's articles from all our platforms that we scraped. On the second box, we have this nice carousel that displays our headlines for the current articles that we think the user would most engage with.
Now we'll walk through the backend, language model prompt chain, and embedding database.
So we embedded a few thousand news articles from both tech and general news, Reddit posts, Twitter embeds, and Hacker News posts into one embedding space. And what's valuable about this is that now you can sort of have all of these exist within one information space and sort of see what exists there. So for instance, if we go and change the topic field to feed title, we can see that there's a distinct grouping around Twitter feed posts there. We can see that there's distinct groupings around some of the Hacker News items and distinct groupings around some of the Reddit feeds as well, with many of the news articles sprinkled amongst them. What's really nice about this is we then, instead of getting individual articles, we actually get these topics and return them. We then dive into some of the internal details of Nomic in order to get individual articles from each of these topics. But then, for instance, for internship offer, whatever's within there, we got one article from that. It's probably about a lot of job things. We get one article from there and one article from others. This allows us to not have a lot of duplicate articles for different topics and make sure that the data we have is pretty sparse. That's one of the nice things about using Nomic for this, is you get this sort of topic level embeddings. We have our extract posts file. We call it with a given persona. So in this case, I'm interested in AI news and developments and environmental news, but not politics. We then run it. And it fetches the Nomic topic embeddings first. It got 64 items from there. Then it queries OpenAI for the relevancy of each of those topics given the persona. It found 20 relevant headlines. It then gets articles and text for those relevant articles and queries OpenAI for summaries of those relevant articles to condense them. It takes a minute to get each of the summaries, and then it compiles them all into a master summary, which it then outputs below. And here you can see the briefing covers developments in security, volcanics, robotics, AI-generated art, telecom, aeronautics, and open source software, and pointedly not politics.